This is a Rainsmore backpack designed for photography gear. They also list as laptop carrying as well. So I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase it, it's going to cost you somewhere between $48 at the list price, or I've seen it as low as $42 on like a Black Friday deal. They haven't paid me for my review, and my opinions remain my own. Alright, it comes packaged in a kind of a Ziploc bag that has been taped shut. And this is the backpack. So it has a Rainsmore tag on it. It says the color is black, the size is small, medium, large, and the material is leather, canvas, nylon. So I think that's a tag that might be for all of their products. I don't see any leather on this particular one. So in here they have a little bit of instructions. They have kind of removable padded dividers, and they have some accessories here. So in the accessory packet, you get the removable padded dividers, and essentially you get several of these guys, little Velcro straps and dividers that have Velcro on them that you can place in the backpack to organize your gear. So in this particular backpack, we have 3 of these elastic Velcro straps, and we have one of this kind of small guy, one of this slightly bigger guy, and then 3 of these guys that are kind of 3 connectors. 2 of them are kind of gray and 1 is orange. We also get this guy, which is a backpack rain cover that you can throw over the entire backpack just to protect it from rain a little more. So on the human side of the backpack, we have pretty good foam in these straps. We have a chest strap here that's adjustable that can hook in there. There's a carry handle. There's a luggage strap here, so you can put this over the handle of a rollaboard luggage and wheel it through an airport. We also have a zipper in here, so there's a pocket that can be kind of right up against your back with that zipper there. So it'd be hard for somebody to get into that pocket if you were wearing this backpack. Now we have a side access port here. So you can reach in there, and if you set things up, you could grab a camera right out of there. The other side has a strap here and a pocket that's, could be a water bottle, but it's really designed for like a small folding tripod that you could put a tripod against this side of the backpack. So the bottom of the backpack has these straps here, so you could hang a tripod crosswise, or anything else, a small roll of foam or something if you're looking for a pad for the ground or something like that. There's a little bit of reflectiveness here. So pocket-wise, we have here a pocket that goes in here. We have here another pocket that opens up, and it has a place for clips for like keys, for example, and little like places for pins and flat things here. And then we have the main zippered compartment that folds open here. And obviously this guy's been, smushed down for packaging, so I'm going to have to pop it up a little bit. But there is a good amount of padding throughout. So, there's a piece of foam in between pretty much all of these walls, with the possible exception of the side walls. There's a little bit of foam here, a little bit of foam there. The foam here seems to be a little bit wrinkled and like kind of folded up inside that pocket, so I think I need to, wiggle it around a bit to get it straight. But there is foam all the way around this thing. And then you have these guys, which will stick to the sides. So we have some inner pockets here on the inside of this guy, and then we have, these pockets out here. That's where you'd probably be putting all your smaller items. Now, there's a rear pocket here And so this rear pocket has a sleeve, it has a laptop insignia, so the idea is you can stick a laptop in that rear pocket. And there's this and a piece of foam between the laptop and all of the photography equipment in the main compartment here. So you can fit a pretty decently sized laptop in that sleeve. So it has a good sized carry handle here. There's also this little nylon hanging strap or just handle, although this is more comfortable to carry it with, but you can kind of hang it on a hook with that guy. So in the main compartment here, we have all of these guys, and you really just have to decide where you're going to be putting these yourself. The 3-compartment or 3-section guys have a Velcro here on the bottom, so you can set that down and set the sides up and put it somewhere like that. These guys here only have Velcro on the 2 sides. They don't have like a bottom Velcro strap, but these 3 here do. And so you can potentially do things like that if you want to. Make a section like this. These things will connect to each other, but I suspect a lot of people are going to be putting these kind of crosswise and then putting these shorter ones kind of between those guys. So it's really going to be up to you how you want to set up your equipment in the bag. And it does have these straps here which can go over, so you can have some elastic holding things down or whatever. Or you could put the elastic down on the base and then have something under that elastic. Trying to figure out how to put these guys in and organize stuff. First little annoyance I ran into is that this side access door is relatively tall or wide, depending on how you want to think about that. It's much bigger than I need for my little camera here. And so you cannot really put one of these dividers up against the door. It won't really, Velcro to that well. So you really have to put it up here. And so there's, this size here is kind of your division size. Also, I kind of thought, well, maybe I'll put a divider this way, but none of these dividers are long enough to reach all the way that way. So you could do a 3-section and a 1-section up here and then a little section there or something like that. But I also was thinking, well, it'd be nice to have a divider here, but at this width, this guy isn't that long, and these guys are, quite a bit longer than that needs to be, so you'd kind of be sort of folding one of them, like that, which I might end up doing something like this, where I fold one in like that, or maybe even like this, just to put a little extra padding, on the camera, on the base of the bag here, because this is the part of the bag where if you're setting the bag down, that would be on the ground. So maybe I'll do something like this so that the camera has an extra level of padding right there. But the number of these seem to be plenty, but it'd be nice to have one that was long enough to go vertical if you wanted to. I guess you're just not supposed to do that, because it looks like the width of these 2 or these 3 are all kind of horizontal width. And this guy here basically means you can put 2 or 3 of these horizontally, but they kind of have to be above the door, unless you want to put it, sitting there where it's just kind of open and you can reach into this compartment, reach into that compartment, this guy kind of flips back and forth. So the exact length and width of these guys, I'm sure I'll be able to make it work, but I'm going to have to play with it a bit, and it's not necessarily going to match exactly with the width of this door here. So the zipper on this pocket does have a little clip on it, and they have a kind of a ring attached here, so you can clip that there, so it won't accidentally come unzipped, although it's not really super, secure anti-theft type thing, but it does have that little retention clip on that zipper. So I set this up so that my flash unit and camera would be accessible from the side. I played around with one of these little Velcro, elastic straps here. I'm not really sure it's doing much for me, but I'm just playing with it. And then I have a couple other lenses and the audio system, I packed my lens cleaning kit in here just because I had extra room at the top, and also because I didn't have a thing right here, so this lens might, flip around a bit if I didn't do it. So I have a crop sensor camera, which is a little smaller, and uses smaller lenses. So you could definitely, use a full frame camera and some bigger lenses in this bag and have a decent amount of room. I didn't find a great pocket for small square things. So obviously, all these batteries I can just throw in one of these pockets. And so this will fit in those pockets, but those pockets really aren't made to be, quite that thick of things in there. And the guys up here are also kind of, more flat pockets. So I guess that's my only real complaint about the bag, is they don't have any kind of square zippered pockets. All these pockets are really designed for, smaller, flatter things. Now, if I take out one of these things, I can throw little junk in one of these compartments, and when this guy's closed, they're probably not going to move about between the compartments. But these batteries, they're small enough they could potentially slide underneath one of these dividers here. So I would have kind of liked to have a small squarish pocket somewhere for things that aren't flat, like, not cables necessarily, something kind of like this size. It's kind of too small to put in the main compartment, and yet thick enough you don't really want to just put it in one of these little outer pockets. I mean, they'll fit, it'll work. I have a lot of room here so that, this will close just fine. But that's my only real place that I haven't really found a great place to put the batteries so far. And that might just be me need to buy a battery organizer that'll fit in a compartment here somewhere. Now the interior of the side pocket door has this zippered compartment here, where you could put some SD cards or something you need a lot in there. Maybe some batteries in there, so that'd be a good place to have an extra battery. There's also these guys, which are they fit my batteries. I think they might be better for an SD card or maybe something a little bit smaller. I'm a little concerned with having like the camera here and then these hard things right up against it, because there's no padding in there. But other than that, I think this might be the best spot I've found to to store a couple of extra batteries, just to have easy access to them. Alright, so the sternum strap is adjustable. It goes up and down. I pulled it down to this lower position so I don't have to have these guys quite as tight and higher up. So the side pocket, you really have to take off one arm, slide it around. When you do that, these guys are in here. You can pull things in and out. So that works pretty well for just access, but you really do have to take off the other arm. So this is the included rainfly, and it just has elastic all the way around it. And so it covers the top pretty well, and you can pull it down and around the bottom pretty well. So it does pretty good coverage on it. But there's something weird going on here, where it's like the elastic isn't as long as the fabric, and so there's a pleat in here to kind of gather it around. And that pleat is fine, because rain will come down and roll off of it. On this side, however, the way the pleat is put in, rain comes down here, is going to get caught in this little pocket. And so that seems like a bad design choice to me. So I think it's better to have this rain cover than not have it. But I wasn't super impressed by the rain cover fit. So for example, it leaves kind of a gap on the sides here. You can see there's, it's a little bit of a gap. It's not bad, but it's a little bit of a gap. It does do good coverage on the top and the back. So, the rain cover is better than not having a rain cover for it, but I wasn't really impressed by the rain cover. It feels like nylon cloth. It doesn't specifically feel to me like it's perfectly waterproof. It feels like if it gets wet enough, some water might wick through it as well. But for a camera bag, it's not like you're taking this and hiking the AT. If it starts raining, you throw this over your bag and you run for cover. So I think it's really it's a good thing to have in an emergency. You need to cover your bag and run for it. It packs down pretty small, so I'll just probably throw it in one of these pockets and just leave it in the bag permanently. Alright, so from a stealth perspective, this guy doesn't have any obvious markings. The only real branding I can find is this guy that you're just going to take off. Obviously, if you know what you're looking for, you know, there's a side zip pocket there. So if you know what that is for, it's indicative that there's camera equipment inside. Obviously, if you put a tripod down here or a tripod on the bottom, it's pretty obvious. If you don't put a tripod on it, if you throw a water bottle in here, I don't think anybody's going to think anything about this strap. They'll think it's just a compression strap. Straps on the bottom, they might just think they're compression straps as well. So, you know, unless somebody knows what they're looking for, you could walk around with this and not scream, you know, camera bag with lots of photography equipment inside. All right, so at this price point, I'm pretty impressed with this bag. You know, it is not an expensive bag as camera bags go, and it has a pretty good amount of functionality here. Yes, there's a few things I can improve here and there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty good value for this price point.